All right. So in the first video, we were able to cover node by node explanation of how we can go ahead and create a bird eye view dashboard for all our workflows that are in the n8n. Now, we consider this workflow that you see on the screen as a sub workflow. It is optional, but for us, it has been extremely helpful. Um, and I think it goes without saying that I thought I should also give you a step-by-step overview how you could set that up and what this is. But before we go into it, my name is Ali. Welcome to All In on AI. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. So what I'm going to do now is execute the workflow in the first place. All right, fingers crossed. All right, we ran our workflow successfully. Now, what this is, it is basically a summary report of all our workflows that are living in n8 and they're active. And we don't need to go in the instance, dig deep into every single workflow to identify like which is successful, which execution was not, and all that jazz, right? So I'm going to start off with the first one, which is a manual trigger. As you can see, like I press the button manually. That's what we call a manual trigger. It is only going to start the workflow when I'm actually going to press that manually. So that's very, very, like self-explanation. So that's very, very self-explanatory. All right, moving on to the next one, which is the HTTP request. Now, what happens over here is that this nodes get access to all the active workflows that are living in n8n. From there, when it basically gets all the information for all the workflows that are in the n8n, then it passes on and transforms the API, which is this response, into an array of workflow IDs and names. So it is able to showcase us the workflows with the proper names and proper ID. So let's say if a certain workflow has an error, how are we going to know which workflow is that? That's when we create this specific node. It is going to let us know the type ID, so which we can actually put the ID in the n8n workflow and search that directly, or it can also give us the name by which we can search that particular workflow directly. All right, I hope we're clear over here. From here, we have two different ways of understanding this workflow. The first up top is the HTTP request for all those workflows that are running successfully. And at the bottom, we have the same node, but for those who have failed runs. So what is happening from here, over here, it is getting the information of all these successful executions data for each of the workflows. And the same goes for the downside over here, where it is still getting the information for all the workflows, but for those that are failed execution data. Now, once we've actually gotten both the information for the successful runs and the failed runs, now what we're going to do is that we're going to create the same thing that was happening over here. We're going to calculate the number of the successful runs per workflow, and at the same thing over here at the bottom, we're going to calculate the number of failed runs per workflow. Now, once that is done, we are going to merge the node, my favorite node. So everything that was identified, that was calculated, is now getting into a merged node, which is going to combine the successful and the failed counts for each of the workflows by their position. From there, it's going to send the data to our code build message, which is going to generate the message in the way we have set that up. Just for the sake of it, if I were to double click this, there you go. So this is the exact way we're going to get our message. Workflow name, workflow ID, successful runs, failed runs, and the total runs. You can always go ahead and edit the message, what you want to get according to your own choice. But for us, this is, I think, is sufficient enough for us. Going back to the canvas, once that is done, once we've generated the message, at the end, it is going to again run a HTTP request, which is basically going to send the message directly into ClickUp. We're using ClickUp as a project management tool. You might be using Slack. You might be using something else. So you can always attach that specific node over here. So when everything is combined, identified, it basically sends us a direct report on a daily basis. For us, right now, it's daily. And if you're basically working in n8n a lot, and you have way more workflows going on, this can be even like 3 times in a day, 2 times in a day, 5 times in a day, according to your own choice. So now what I'm going to do is that now that I've actually explained the whole workflow, now I'm going to actually take you to the real deal, which is how it is looking over here. So this is our list. And as you can see, when we ran it, it ran successfully. And it basically gave, like, for example, look at the time. We just ran it. Workflow execution summary. Now, as I said, it is basically giving me the ID. I could probably like go ahead, copy this ID, paste it into n8n, and it's basically going to take me directly to that workflow. We have 10 successful execution. There was 0 failed execution, total run, and the success rate is 100%. And the same goes with all the other workflows we have. Super easy to set that up. I'm going to also attach the JSON for this with the step-by-step walkthrough. Again, if there are any questions, any confusions, always feel free to post that under the comments section. And one thing I would love for you to do is share your experience if you've already set that up. Let us know like how it is working out for you. And then on top of that, like whatever you're building, try to share that with the community. We already have a separate space called Build in Public. Put that over there. A lot of people are going to jump in and talk about what you built. If you're stuck somewhere, we have a separate space called Get Unstuck. Go ahead, post your comments, post your questions over there, and we'll be right there with you to solve that out. Again, thank you so much, guys. I hope this was great. And let's say if there are still confusions, feel free to DM me. I'm always available in the community. But have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.